Okay, I thought I would tell the ingredients that I used in order to get my copper patina to turn out in a great manner. It looks shiny and beautiful, and it really turned out nice. So I can share that. I figured what I did to encourage my copper patina to work so well is first I used Novakin copper patina, and I shook it extremely well before using it. But what counts is what I did beforehand. What I did beforehand, after I used and soldered and fluxed, and believe me, I fluxed. So I had tons of residue on this, and the flux was insanely sticky. So I knew I needed to scrub it good. So what I did was, I wanted to use the copper patina, so I decided to go ahead and use the distilled water, because I knew I had 1 gallon of distilled water. I looked at the brand, and it's Parents' Choice distilled water, 1 gallon. The next ingredient is diluted Dawn dish soap. The next thing that you'll need is a scrub brush, a big bowl, and an old toothbrush. I used the big bowl in the sink, and I didn't use the tap water. I put about that much in the bowl, so it's just enough to get it wet and scoop it up and lather it and soap it. So I poured on the Dawn dish soap that's, like I said, diluted, and I got a good lather going using an old scrub brush. It's not abrasive or hard, it's just something to push the suds around, basically, because it's super old. And I scrubbed it with just the soap at first. Then I grabbed the box of baking soda. The baking soda is it's Amazon basic baking soda. It's just the cheapest baking soda there is. I threw that on top of the soap and water. So there's a little water in the bottom. I splash it up, scrubbing it. Got a good lather going, and then I throw on the baking soda and I start massaging it in. It's making a paste by now. So I'm lathering and rubbing in this soapy white paste. And I'm rubbing it on all the sides, all the edges, and I'm doing it on the front and back. I'm standing at the sink for so long that my arm's getting tired of holding my piece, but I'm still doing it. So I probably scrubbed it for at least 10 to 15 minutes between both sides. That's including both sides. So then by the time I'm done scrubbing it, I knew I needed to get rid of the soapy water that I had, but I didn't really want to use up all of my diluted water. So I dumped the soapy water out, rinsed it with tap water, and then drained it. While that was happening, I took this and dabbed it and wiped off as much soap as I could, so I didn't have to get my rinse water super soapy right away. So then I rinsed it and just got a little container and kept throwing the water up, because it's just a little water in the bottom of this bowl, and I'm just working and rinsing both sides, just working and rinsing it. And I do that for a while because I really want it rinsed thoroughly. And then I go ahead and dump that out, blotch dry it again, the same thing, new towel, dry it, and dump that distilled water out that was now sudsy. Get the second rinse. On the second rinse, this time I'm not getting any bubbles. This is just water and nothing. I'm just splashing up water. There should be no bubbles by now, and I'm using a toothbrush, and I'm really getting in there. I'm scrubbing it now. You'd think I would have bring out the toothbrush sooner, but I didn't. I waited until the last rinse, and I used the toothbrush. To my surprise, I seen a little bit of metal flaking and stuff coming out in the final rinse. I was like, wow, okay. After that, I took my piece out of the water and I dried it with another clean towel. I brought it down to my studio area and let it set for about an hour. Just let it dry, let it be. Then I was basically waiting for my son to get home. Then I did the chemical reaction, and that's the Novocaine copper patina. It turned the most brilliant, beautiful, but very surprisingly pink. It was so pink, and I wasn't going for pink. I was going for copper. So I was I was a little disappointed because I was thinking it's going to be copper, but then I found out through a little research that it's natural and okay for it to turn pink. Like some people really thrive for that, and they want it to turn pink. And the trick is whatever shade it is. So if you wanted that pink, you could have dried it real quick right then, like really thoroughly. You would want it to be completely dry before polishing it. But you could seal that color in when you polish it. So now that I like the color that it is, because as the first 24 hours goes, the pink starts fading away and the copper color comes in. So now this color is getting more to the color that I wanted. It was a little bit not as pretty and shiny. So what I did today was I first got my jewelry cloth, polishing cloth, and I was wiping it because it works so good with the silver pieces, the regular soldered pieces. And I'm just polishing and trying to see what I'm getting off, and usually I can get some kind of film or something off, but not much was coming off, right? So I was like, well, all right. And it popped in my head, the magic eraser. So I was like, okay, why not? I mean, I'm just polishing it. I haven't put any polishing agents on it. I'm just rubbing it with this cloth, and then I rubbed it with the magic eraser. I took a magic eraser, nipped off a piece, and started scrubbing it with it. And it just started getting brighter and more beautiful as I was rubbing it. So I nipped off a second piece and thought, well, I'm just gonna make a video then, because some people want this pink, this bright pink color. And if you did, you could have, like, I guess when you use the polish, then that locks it. It freezes it in time, so it would stay pink for them. Or me, if I wanted it pink, could have had it pink last night. Because if I would have polished it with clarity or whatever kind of polish you use, then it would, like, that's where it would stay. So this one's getting kind of where I want it, because I know it can go darker, because it will, but it'll probably take up to a week or a month. From the AI said the first initial change happens from oxidation and just the oxygen hitting it, and that's the first 24 hours. And it was true, because it hasn't been quite 24 hours, and it turned from pink to this really vibrant, pretty color of copper. And then I guess within weeks to months, it'll just get darker, which I kind of believe, because I have a piece from this summer that it looks orange compared to this. Like, literally, it pretty much looks orange. But I just wanted to share in case somebody would like to know or benefit from this. So you need distilled water, a half a jug, watered down, I used Parents' Choice distilled water. I used watered down Dawn liquid soap for dishes. I used a big bowl, just a big bowl in my sink. It basically took up the whole sink, but I only put a little bit of water in at a time, and I used a cup to keep splashing it up on my piece. I used a old scrubber, it didn't even have scratchy scrub to it. It was just basically like, I could have used a washcloth. And then I used baking soda. When I had the lather up there, I threw on the baking soda, and that neutralizes all of that flux. And it pulls all of that flux out of every bit of the metal. And it cleans it so thoroughly. And when I did carry it down, I was careful not to let my fingers, which I didn't have any oil on my fingers after all of that, but because it cleansed my hands too. They were like kind of, you know, your fingers get like that pruny, bumpy, whatever from being in the water. Because I was in the water for a little bit. I didn't do it like a 3-second wash. This was like probably a total of 15 to 20 minutes. I was scrubbing it, and that's the whole thing, probably 15 minutes, maybe 20. But I was kind of tired of holding it because I'm scrubbing. I wasn't being rough, I was just scrubbing. And then I did use a toothbrush on the second rinse. The final rinse was 2, and I used a toothbrush and just really got down in every crevice, every crack, every spot. In between washes, I wiped off the soap with a clean cloth. And then today, I used a jewelry polishing cloth, and I used a magic eraser. And I'm going to polish it. I haven't decided if I'm going to use Clarity or that Carabanga. It's a car wash, like Mother's something. It's not even made for stained glass, but I love the smell of it, and I love the way it's a pain to get it out of every crack, but it does a good job. Or I can use Clarity that is made for stained glass. But as soon as I do that, then that will it'll stop oxidizing, and it will kind of like freeze in time with this color. So that's cool to know. So okay, I just thought I would share my adventure. Anybody that wanted to know. Maybe everybody gets their copper patina this right, and I'm over exaggerating. I don't do copper that much, so you know, I was kind of actually surprised when it turned pink, and then it just turned out really, really pretty. I mean, it's a pretty color. I don't know if the camera and the lights are catching this color very good, but I hope so. Okay, well, if you made it to the end, congratulations, because I sure do talk a lot when I'm excited, and I sometimes talk loud too. But okay, bye-bye.